Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining me for another episode of my show where I chat with inspiring entrepreneurs in South Africa. Today, I feel very, very lucky to be speaking to the beautiful Mercedes Westbrook of Firehorse Media. Mercedes, please will you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about your business?
Hi, Melanie Brummer. Thank you for this opportunity. I am a single mom who's bootstrapped her business up, and I'm here to say that it's possible for everyone to do, and especially during COVID-19, it's a perfect time to learn new skills that you didn't know that you had. I did have the advantage of doing a journalism course when I was growing up in KZN, and as fate would have it, it took me into the magazine industry in the B2B market. So I've had a long career as an editor, which has helped me in terms of where I am now. But I used to work for publishers my entire career. And I started my own business very late on in life when I was literally forced to. So not being unable to find a job, I decided I had to open my own business, and it was the best thing I ever did. And I'd like to share that for anyone who is thinking about their own business, just do it. The sooner you do it, the better. It's something that it's like walking the Great Wall of China. You do it one step at a time, like anything, and it requires patience and consistency. And we live in a very fast-paced world where people want things to happen immediately. We want health and health. We want 100,000 followers, and it's something that you really have to start slowly and build up, brick by brick, until you've got your pyramid. So I started Firehorse Media 5.5 years ago. And it really was a bootstrap. Anything I didn't know or understand, I learned myself, late nights online. And really, you can find anything online these days in terms of helping you to decide, A, who you are, because that's important in terms of bringing the authentic self into your business, how to do things, and the fastest and easiest way to do things. So Firehorse Media Services, I do publicity, which is free editorials as opposed to paid advertising. And that's because your content is so good, you're getting media houses to publish your content. So it comes down to very much content marketing, but online now. And we also do any form of social media management and affordable websites. So having started my business 6 years ago, I've already been through this COVID-19 levels of stress with no work out there, and it's never as bad as we think it is. It's always worse. We always imagine more how awful it's going to be, but it's very possible now with the opportunity presented by COVID-19 for you to get yourself in front of the world, and a very quick way to market, I would like to suggest, is for people we're moving out of office spaces, we're moving out of these insular channels, and we're going online, global. Your website is now your office or your shop front or your gallery of products. And I'd like to suggest a way to save money is don't do the do-it-yourself way. We have helped so many people get an affordable website for the amount that they're paid to do it on something like these advertised websites where you can do it yourself. It's technical. If you're not computer savvy, you're going to get frustrated and waste a lot of time. Rather use that time to grow the different services or arms of your business, be creative in ways of speaking about your business, but use a reputable website builder. Make sure that you own your own IP, because there's a lot of people will say, I'll do your website, but every time you want to change a photo or add a product caption, they'll charge you extra. So make sure that you own your website name, and that you also have a go-to guy, usually on a retainer basis, where he updates your security plugins and makes sure that your speed is right, and all these little things that just give you a solid working secure shop front. And it doesn't have to be expensive. You can have a website that is one page, and we can build it in a day, but it's to get online now. And yes, the channels are busy, but as soon as you put yourself out there, get your website up and going, then you can start to socially market yourself. And there are different ways to do it on the different social channels, easy enough to find out as well. But where you're going to win is you're going to win if you make sure your SEO on the back end of your website is working and the SEO on the front end of your website is working. And that is in everything that you post out. So what I would suggest for your listeners is that what I do with new clients is I first of all ask them, what is the budget that we have to work with? What is the amount that you can afford every month to put towards marketing yourself? And it could be 2,500 Rand. I say, great, we can work with that. We can help you with whatever you've got available. So then I would look at the type of business that it is, and I'd suggest the platforms to go onto, and then how many times to post, where to post. But the messaging is the most important thing. The difference between digital marketing and content marketing is it's about authentic communication. It's about giving people value, and it's about volume. So there's many different ways of doing it on each of the different channels, and I'm happy to give free advice to anyone who wants to ask via yourself or ask via me. But I do believe that there's enough business for everyone, and it's actually amazing that everyone is getting online now. We are going to have a more a shared world, and let's hope that it's an authentic one that's going to turn away from all this marketing speak that we have been dealt with for so long, and that we're all so tired of. So yes, you can advertise on these platforms, but I don't think there's a need. People are tired of advertising. They can spot when something is a sell, and we'd rather read about something that speaks to us, that we can relate to in that person. And it also comes down to deciding what clients you want to, your own personal authenticity comes down to what type of clients do you want to work for. So I have fired clients because of they're not behaving properly, and I also have not taken on a client because I don't believe in the credibility of the company or what they're selling. So I think it's important to make sure you align your principles and your values with your clients, if you have them, and who you want to work with, and also how you.
So what does your ideal client look like?
My ideal client knows that he doesn't know everything, and he's willing to ask for help and receive that help. He is also somebody who there's a strong flow of communication, so he can tell me what his marketing or her marketing goals are, so that I can align with those in terms of his brand voice and the brand speak that we're putting out, and also to look for ways that we can fulfill the pain points of his clients. So the ideal client understands his market. He knows who his market is. He understands what makes him happy, what makes him frustrated, and he's willing to give more than he's wanting to spend. I see so many clients saying, well, no, I don't want to put that out on social media because that's my book and they must buy my book. But how it works is that you have to offer information, value, tips, so people can learn to trust you and respect that information you're giving. There's very few people we're all unique. So as I said before, there's enough for everyone. There's enough business for everyone. And what we each bring is our own unique perspective to a business. And the attitude must be one of giving what you know, so that there will be the big clients who come along and say, right, I can see that you know what you're talking about. Please do it for me. You will get a few people who will copy you or follow you, but that's fine too, because you're sharing your knowledge with other people as well. So it's to be open-minded in terms of realizing that in order to receive, you have to give first. And
that's a wonderful
yes.
message. Thank you. So how do you actually go about finding your customers?
They are usually through referral.
Okay, so word of mouth is working for you.
It works for me. I also have to say that in terms of my business, which is corporate communications and publicity, media marketing, I find a lot of my clients on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn today, I think, is one of the best, most professional and free platforms that you can find clients on. It also allows you an opportunity to be seen as a thought leader. So you can post articles about your business, but from an overview industry. So you start to make commentary about your industry. So, for example, if you have a bead company, you can start to talk about glass beads from Ethiopia and how it first started, and now that is now being copied locally with the plastic, and you can really start to give a background to the industry and where your knowledge is within that industry in terms of what your offering is to your client.
It's very interesting because you're actually the second person that I've interviewed this week who has mentioned that LinkedIn is a very important place to showcase your business. And for a while, a lot of people weren't looking to LinkedIn, but it seems as though LinkedIn has almost had a revival in credibility recently. I think a lot more people are starting to use it, perhaps.
I think I have found Gary G is his name. Gary V, V-E-E. You'll find him on YouTube. I think he's brilliant. He's also, as a young man, bootstrapped himself, worked in his family business, and then left in his 40s and had to start from scratch all over again. So he says it's all about volume. It's about putting out messages, 9 to 27 pieces of information a day. He says you do that for a year, you will get noticed online. And he says LinkedIn, and I think he said Twitter is the place to be in terms of getting free leads and growing your net market.
Okay. Okay. Do you find that different businesses need to use different platforms?
Yes, definitely. Absolutely.
Okay.
We all know that LinkedIn is if you want to create a voice be a voice for your industry, to be seen as as I said, thought leader. Facebook is social. It's family and friend referrals. I'll say, wow, Melanie, I love that quote. Where do I find it? You refer me. I then go and shop, etc. Twitter is very much in the moment, and it's very much for events that are happening either physically or online. It's commentary, and I think you can get to learn your market very well. Then you can start to see who your customer is on Twitter, because they are commenting all the time, and it's very much in the moment and immediate news sharing.
So would you recommend that Twitter is a good place to do market research?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Now, I've heard you mention a couple of times that you've had to bootstrap and start from scratch. And before that, you were in the corporate space, but I also heard you say that you would never go back. What is it about being self-employed that you enjoy so much?
We've all had bad bosses. We've all had bosses who weren't principled. And when you're working under somebody else's brand, it can you can lose your identity. And working for myself, I enjoy working along my own values. There's nothing there's nothing to hide behind. You have to bring yourself 100% to the party. This is who I am. Some people will like you, some people won't. It's okay. There's enough business out there for everyone. So it's just really finding your energetic match. And also you'll tend to find that the customers who will be interested in you, they will be similar to you. Or sometimes they can be completely different to you, but they see value in you that they want to learn from. So it has been and always will be about people and relationships. So it's a type of relationship that you have with your customers, but before that, it's a type of relationship you have with your staff. And I don't have full-time staff, but I work with a network of consultants. So while I don't do, I can't shoot a 10-minute promotional video for you. I have a videographer who's top of his field, or who I align with, like his business principles, and we have a circle of consultants who are professionals in their own right, who have come from a corporate background, and now share our skills and help each other out in terms of what each of our different clients' needs might be. So again, trust with others in your industry or who are in the same industry, and trust with the customer. So if I'm referring you to somebody else, they know that that's somebody that is going to have the same values as me. They're going to deliver their work on time. It's going to be of high quality, etc.
Do you feel, because from what you're saying, it almost sounds to me as though you're able to then get the best people in their field to work with you, rather than
Yes.
employing a complement of staff who you might get very mediocre work out of?
Yes. And you must remember that I have been unemployed. I've been an editor, managing editor and those are very much management positions where you do a lot of, you disseminate a lot of the work out. Being a single business owner, you really have to be on point on all areas of the business because they're all dovetailed together. If you do fantastic work, but you don't follow up on your accounts, you're not going to get paid. So it really gives you more of a CEO. You become the CEO of yourself. Instead of working for a CEO and being a number who has to fit in, and if your superior doesn't agree with your ideas, you're never going to get further. You're going to run into trouble. But working for yourself, you are very much in the control room. That brings its own pros and cons. So I would suggest having somebody to look at your financial or tax returns. And again, it's a professional consultant that you can work with. Or you can even share somebody. And it will be making sure your marketing is looked after, or that somebody is managing a system that you've put in place. But again, I think it's the brand becomes you instead of and we are SMMEs. We're not employers as per se, but it's very much about entrepreneurs supporting each other in terms of the same value chain. But also there's a singularity that allows one to bring our natural talents forward, which get lost in a big corporation. And people can hide as well. And also, if you are having a bad day, you can check out. Whereas have to be on point every day when you're your own boss, when you're your own CEO of yourself.
And what does an average workday look like for you?
I like to wake up, especially when I have a lot scheduled to do and a lot of writing work. I need quiet then, so I like to wake up early, 4 or 5 in the morning, and get in a good 2 hours of quiet. It's really intense concentration work. Then I will do a bit of exercise, eat breakfast, and then start the day's tasks. I like to think I would be so organized to have, I'll do my marketing on Monday, and I'll write my blogs on Tuesday, and I'll invoice on Wednesday, and I'll search for new clients on Thursday. It doesn't work like that. But having been in a deadline-driven industry, I'm able to work quickly, and usually at my best when I am under pressure. So, and I do allow myself every now and then to get caught up in that internet surfing, where you suddenly just start to get led down the rabbit hole, and that can lead you some really interesting places. You can find new people, new ideas. So you've just got to throw it all in the bag and try keep on pulling things out as and when they arise.
Now, I know you have 3 very busy children. How do you juggle being a mother and being an entrepreneur? Because I know that's a very, very tricky job. And I also know that a lot of people watching might be in the same position and would like to hear how you do that.
I have my children, I brought them up to be independent. I've allowed them to be people. So I'm the type of parent who doesn't say you do it because I say so, or it's right because it's my way. I see them as young adults or adults in little people's bodies, and they have their own creativity and talents and skills and desires. And who am I to put a lid on that? I do obviously guide them. My children have a very clear sense of what is right and wrong, and the truth is as goes without saying. And then they're allowed to make the decisions, because often how we learn best is by making our mistakes, and we all make mistakes. No one is perfect. We make them all the time. And even today, as an adult in my 50s, I have to realize that it's still, when you were 14 years old and you were caught doing something wrong, you need to own up to it. You need to say, yes, that happened. Okay, that's not good. How am I going to fix it? And once you've dealt with it, to let it go and move on. And it's a lesson my kids learn every day. It's a lesson I learn every day. I think that too much emphasis is being put on, have you studied? Were you good at school? Have you got capital to start your business? Nonsense. All the answers are within ourselves, but it requires that we open up our own mind and love ourselves enough to realize that you do have the skills, but you have to sit and take time to realize that. And one of the many benefits that I have is every day I sit for an hour by myself, and just by sitting and emptying my mind, a lot of inspiration comes to me, a lot of ideas, and a lot of pointers on the way forward. So I would say during COVID-19, for yourself is get to know yourself better. the more you know yourself, the better you can operate and you can bring yourself to your audience or to your work.
That's such a wonderful insight. I've said to a lot of people during this time who've said to me they're feeling frustrated about having all this time on their hands, but it's time to get to know yourself, and it's time to really think about what you want next for your life and what you want the next phase of your life to look like. And we don't normally get that opportunity in the busyness that normally happens outside of this unnatural situation that we're sitting in right now. So that's a beautiful insight. Thank you. So if you were to have a chat with somebody who's aspiring to get into your industry and wanting to start a business of their own, what kind of advice would you give them?
I think that they would need to decide who their market is, first of all, and then how to provide the advantage. So, for example, if somebody said, I want to be a social media manager, are you going to do it over which platforms? Maybe you want to specialize and just do it for Instagram, and then market yourself as an Instagram expert or a Facebook expert, or on LinkedIn, just finding leads as a lead builder. Just really, where do you see the opportunity? What could you see yourself doing every day, in and out every day? Because creativity is at the base of everything, and everyone is creative. They just schooled it out of us. But creativity is what brings those ideas and those business motivation, because it excites us. So find out what excites you. Find out where there is trending now. So video is big. So anyone going into video production, if you can do it with a great little idea and added on to top of it, learn videography, learn how to make a 1-minute video and a 5-minute video, and then have somebody you can go to if you wanted to make something a little bit longer and more professional. But start off small, simple, and with a fresh message. And it's really like any conversation you have with somebody, is that you find out where their pain point is. What's bothering you? How can I help? How can I help you? And you need to be here, or the client say, well, it really frustrates me when this happens. And then you provide that solution in a quick and affordable way.
That's
but yes,
great
video
advice.
is very...
Sorry, I cut you off.
No problem. Websites as well. If you're a website builder, there are a lot of people out there in the space now because there is such a need. I would really research websites, the pros, the cons, what are people's bugbears, where have people been scammed, where have they had their money taken, where have they not had the service, and then build the business on those solutions and market it as such. Have 3 main points that you will bring for people. We will give you a website, a 1-page website, which we can build in 1 day, so you can be up and running by the end of this week. And we will give you an hour's training on how to write and post blogs for yourself.
That sounds like a great package. I want to buy it.
I can put you in touch with the website consultant.
Thank you. And I think we are coming towards the end of our time. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us. Do you have any parting comments for us, and where can we find you online?
Beg your pardon, you lost you there?
And where can we find you online?
No. My website is Firehorse Media. It's .co.za. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. My name is Mercedes Westbrook, and I'm open to chat to people and to advise as best I can. And thank you for this wonderful opportunity, Melanie. You've always impressed me by your generous sharing and your positivity.
It's such a pleasure. I am very thankful to have you in my circle of friends. So thank you everybody for watching, and tune in for the next one tomorrow.